In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight, an earlier start to preparations for the hurricane season proving to be a prudent decision. Government seeking to build out a new niche market with the Maritime and Underwater Heritage Bill. A call for greater scrutiny of the gender inequalities that exist in Barbados.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome to the CBC NewsNight. I'm Wendy Berg with the details. An earlier start to preparations for the national hurricane season has proven to be a prudent move by government. This was one of the points made as officials reviewed the just concluded season. Anesta Henry has the story.
Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred Abrams says government started national preparations for the Atlantic hurricane season 1 month earlier than the usual June 1st has been bearing fruit. Addressing a press conference to report on the 2024 season after it officially ended on November 30, Minister Abrams says the move made 2 years ago is necessary since weather systems are forming earlier compared to previous years. He says Barbados feeling the effects of Hurricane Beryl, the earliest Category 4 storm ever reported, is a major reminder of why preparation should be sooner rather than later.
Our decision to move our operational readiness for the 1st of May as opposed to the 1st of June really bore fruit because we were not scrambling in June. By the time Beryl came along, we were able, quite frankly, to have the Cricket World Cup, which occurred the 2 days before Beryl, the day before Beryl. We were able to have the Cricket World Cup with a plan to get people out of Barbados after the Cricket World Cup, with a plan for what to do with the people who were here for the Cricket World Cup. So the event came off. And then we immediately went into the shutdown for the preparation for the storm.
Minister Abrams says the sobering reality is that the 2024 hurricane season lived up to the prediction of an active and extremely destructive season. It became the second costliest on record, inflicting at least $220 billion in damage and causing 401 deaths overall. The eye of Beryl, which passed Barbados between June 30 and July 1st, resulted in damage to the south and west coastal infrastructure and the Bridgetown Marina, as well as severely affecting over 90% of the fishing industry. Tourism and housing sectors were also affected, with 73% of hotels, apartments and guest houses and 40 houses suffering levels of damage. He adds that Barbadians' approach to hurricane shelters are changing for the better.
One time we used to open the shelters and very few people were trickling. Now people were getting in there early. They were asking if they could bring the pets. They came prepared, they came with the medication. So people did heed the numerous PSAs that went out there. So Bajans approached this hurricane season a little bit different than we had before. I think we're taking it, we come into grips with the reality and taking it a bit more seriously now.
Meanwhile, Director of the Department of Emergency Management, Kerry Hines, says the agency is currently reviewing its shelter strategy and policy.
I think what I would ask if there are any persons who are willing to volunteer the buildings as shelters, any churches, what's not, please contact the Department of Emergency Management or the Ministry of Education. We are always looking to include additional shelters on the list.
Minister Abrams is asking Barbadians to insure their properties and to secure them as much as possible. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Government is working to build out a new niche market for the island with the introduction of the Maritime and Underwater Heritage Bill. The legislation was before the lower house of Parliament today, with Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell leading off debate. The Act provides for the protection, management, sustainable development and regulation of maritime and underwater heritage in Barbados, along with the advancement of sustainable maritime heritage tourism. It also regulates all ocean mineral activities. Minister Gooding-Edgell says the legislation addresses deficiencies identified in a recent audit by the International Maritime Organization.
The Marine Heritage and Tourism Bill Underwater Heritage Bill not only regulates tangible heritage assets at sea by vessels, but it also undertakes the role of the protector of the heritage by ordinary persons. And this is to ensure, of course, that local persons and others who can explore, interact, and benefit from Barbados' marine and cultural heritage. The Maritime Underwater and Heritage Bill also provides an effective framework that enhances the relationship between tourism, natural and cultural resources.
Mr. Gooding-Edgell notes government is mindful it has to manage its maritime sector. He adds that within the legislation is the protection of lighthouses. It
is recognized that within the bill that we had to pay homage, as it were, to the issue of the heritage lighthouses in Barbados. Clause 22, as I indicated, speaks to all the purpose, speaks to the purposes of the part as it relates to providing for lighthouses and the maintenance of such. Clause 23, designation as heritage lighthouses within the Act 23 empowers the minister responsible for shipping to, in consultation with the relevant agencies and other stakeholders, designate a lighthouse to be a heritage lighthouse.
In his address, opposition leader Ralph Thorne called attention to the fishing community, some of whom he says are still awaiting promised assistance following Hurricane Beryl. He pleaded for government to fulfill its promise, saying he has been in regular contact with fisherfolk.
We all know that 90% of the industry was destroyed. We know that. This country knows that. And this country knows that this government made a promise to the fishing industry that the government would do all that it can do, not only to restore the industry so that it may, in the words of this legislation, culturally express itself, but this government offered to restore the very day-to-day lives of the members of that fishing community.
However, in response, Minister of the Environment and National Beautification Adrian Ford says more than $3 million has been paid out by government to Barbadian fisherfolk impacted by Hurricane Beryl. He says payments have been made to fishermen and vendors. While admitting that there were some challenges to work out, including those having problems with bank accounts, Minister Ford says government is continuing the payment process.
Total money paid for benefits for boat owners, captains, crew members, and vendors, as well as grants for boat repairs, is $3 million. I want you to get the figures right. $3,706,563.59. A government that cares, that not only say that they will do, but has shown by its action that it cares about the fisherfolk in this country.
Mr. Ford reassured fisherfolk that government wants to see the revival of the fishing industry. He says over 40 boats have since been repaired.
45 boats have been repaired and placed back in the ocean to start back their fishing journey. 45 boats. I want to say the total number of boats back in the water is 141. Total number. That is recognizing, of course, those that were not damaged and some that were already getting repaired before the incident took place. So we have 41 boats in our waters right now fishing. And I want to report also that over the last couple 2 months or so, we have started to export tuna once again.
A strong call is being made for work to arrest the degradation of the coastal areas in and around Sixmen, St. Peter. It's coming from Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, Colin Jordan, who says challenges at Sixmen's in his constituency predate Hurricane Beryl. He was speaking during his contribution to the Maritime and Underwater Heritage Bill 2024, which was passed in the House.
Erosion has the potential to destroy the very heritage that this bill has been brought here to protect. And so I do not want a reality to conflict with what this very important piece of legislation seeks to do. The matter of erosion must be addressed.
The police seem to be making some headway with their investigation into the discovery of human bones at a remote location in Henley St. John last Thursday. CBC News understands that 3 men are presently being questioned. Sources say a search was done in a St. Philip neighborhood and some persons are assisting with the investigation. Coming up, a suggestion for Barbados to take a closer look at gender inequality in the country. As Barbados celebrates women who have left their mark on society, a call is being made for greater scrutiny of the inequalities between men and women. The call from Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight. She was speaking during an awards ceremony for winners of the Shirley Chisholm Art Competition. Rachel Agard has that report.
Barbados boasts of having a strong group of women leading the charge, from Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley to many others in top positions. Yet, says Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight, there are still critical divisions in society that are gender-based.
We must still confront the fact that yes, while a lot of our young women are entering into university and doing well, many of them are still the majority in the care sectors, which again have some of the lowest levels of pay. We must still confront that. All of that is part of the legacy of Shirley Chisholm. And she still challenges us today in her spirit that we need to be able to speak as she did, to be able to confront those things in our society that need to change.
She adds that in spite of all the advances, Barbadians have become a little complacent regarding what it means to be a true society.
How about if we remember, again, that spirit and that legacy? Remember the Barbados and the Barbadians who, despite not having, still urge their children to take advantage of education, not just to go to school, but to learn and to contribute.
Regarding the awardees for the Shirley Chisholm Art Competition, Layla Aline of Hinesbury Primary School won the top prize, followed by Saraya Smith of Wills Primary and Isabel Louveau of the Codrington School. Meanwhile, in the Public Arts Competition, Diara Springer copped first place, followed by Romario Phillips and Dominique Toppin, with special mentions of Felicity Pollard and Jade Joseph. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The community of St. John is getting a much-needed boost with training opportunities for young people and ongoing road rehabilitation projects. This is according to Member of Parliament for St. John, Charles Griffith. He was speaking during a Christmas party held over the weekend for approximately 200 children in the constituency.
For a number of years we have been neglected, and the opportunity now to do some things to bring about some real change in the community as far as the infrastructure is concerned, as far as lifting the spirit of people within the constituency is what it's all about. Definitely what it's all about.
Mr. Griffith says in addition to ongoing projects, a number of other initiatives are earmarked to come on stream heading into the new year to engage young people.
We have already the farming project at Wakefield. I have done some training programs that were oversubscribed, so there's a clear need for training as far as the young people are concerned within the constituency. The community center should be back up and running sometime early next year, and training will be extended again in terms of providing vocational training for those individuals who are unemployed within the constituency. So yes, things are happening, for me a little slow, but they're happening.
Over the weekend, students, parents, and the communities close to St. Lucie Primary School were treated to their first ever Christmas concert and lighting ceremony. It was a pleasant treat as the first Christmas concert was held with the various classes performing poetry, song and dance in the beautifully decorated hall. Guest performers including the Darrell Jordan Steel Pan Orchestra, St. Lucie Parish Ambassador Shade Ben and Shamel Clark. Students were also treated to gifts and picture taking with Santa Claus. It was then time for Minister Peter Phillips to turn on the lights amidst screams from the students who were dazzled by the brightly lit and beautifully decorated play park. Time now to head to the Sports Center with Damien Best. Damien, what's new in sports?
Yes, good evening to you, Wendy. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. All about cricket. West Indies have taken an unassailable 2-0 lead in their ODI series against Bangladesh after they beat the visitors by 7 wickets today in St. Kitts. Sent into bat at Warner Park, Bangladesh were restricted to 227 off 45.5 overs. Player of the match, Jaden Seals, picked up 4 for 22 and Gudakesh Moti 2 for 36. Mamadullah scored 62 with Tanzid Hassan adding 46 and Tanzim Hassan Shakib 45. In reply, the Windies raced to victory, finishing on 234-3 in 36.5 overs. Brandon King led with 82, inclusive of 8 fours and 3 sixes. King he shared in a 109-run opening partnership with Evan Lewis, who scored 49. Casey Carty chipped in with 45. Well, the third and final ODI is set for Thursday again in St. Kitts. Williams Industries West Terrace crushed Amazing Deals Wesley Hall by 161 runs to be crowned champions of the City of Bridgetown Cooperative Credit Union Herman Griffith Primary Schools competition. West Terrace, batting first in today's final, posted a massive 214 for 3 of their allotted 25 overs at Friendship, with 72 extras contributing to the total. A 165-run opening stand between Neymar Ford and captain Ronnie Watson set the platform for the win. Ford led with 63 of 66 balls, inclusive of 8 fours, while Watson made 61 of 57 deliveries, inclusive of 10 fours. In reply, Wesley Hall were bowled out for just 53 in 17 overs, as no batter passed double figures, and there were 36 extras. Ryan Martindale took 3 for 5 and Amir Watts 3 for 6. Here are the highlights.
He'll be turned his whole side. Slapped away. Oh, this is beautiful. There's someone teaching him the right things from early. Another misfield. Produces another boundary. 6 for 6. Whipped over mid-wicket. Whipped into the boundary. Simply sublime from the captain, Watson.
Another short delivery and dealt with in the appropriate manner. Are we happy for that? No, that could very well be his half century here. We'll look for the second and we'll come back for 2. Should make it. Well done to the young man, Ronnie Watson. He's got 50. A bit like Wayne Daniel. That's going to split the field and we'll go for 4. Chance for a catch, finally! Ford is looking for his 50 and we'll get it too.
Bowled him. He gets another one. 214 for 3. Talking about attacking the stumps, he gets his first. Double delight for Corbin. Catch taken. Wrapped on the pad. He's gone. The destruction continues.
Oh, he's bowled him. Been given, he missed the full toss. The many supporters of the West Terrace team. Wow! And West Terrace are the champions in 2024.
Yeah, congratulations to the Tigers there. That is the first half in sports. Wendy, it's back over to you. I'll come back a bit later on.
Thank you so much, Damien. Up next on CBC's Newsnight, the Business Report. In tonight's Business Report, it's never too late to prioritize your skin. That's the advice from creator and owner of Mint on the Moon Cosmetics, Alistra Clark. On tonight's Yes Business Report, she tells Trevor Thorpe what drove her into business and the thinking behind it.
Alistra Clark says an inner drive, coupled with strong encouragement and support from her parents, are the background to getting the initiative to fruition. According to her, all natural ingredients are used in the products that make up Mint on the Moon Cosmetics.
I knew that I didn't want to work in a workplace. I just wanted to have something to call mine, so that's why I really started the business.
The young entrepreneur also gave some insight into Mint on the Moon Cosmetics.
We really do take pride in making these products and creating, and we really do take the time to develop the products that they're effective enough, but you still get the natural and the vegan aspect of it, and that we care about the planet and we also care about your skin.
She says climate change and its effects on the environment are also among the guiding lights of the enterprise.
We go by the vegan initiative because we care about the planet and we know the effects of the toxic chemicals that are normally put in products on the skin and the impact it can have on the body itself as well.
Ms. Clark says the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme has strengthened her resolve and helped her on the road to success.
The YES program, I would tell people that it gives them a lot of support, and you really feel like a community when you are in the YES program. So that's why I would really encourage persons to join the program, because you get that support from actually building the business from the startup to expanding the business on where you think or where you want your business to be.
The young businesswoman also gave the thumbs up to YES and says she would recommend it to anyone looking to get into business.
I saw it advertised and I thought that it was a really good initiative for young persons like myself to do the program and to have the support and the backing to be able to move forward and have a support system that you feel comfortable and you feel proud that your business will eventually grow and thrive to become what you want it to become.
Mint on the Moon Cosmetics come in sets of 4, and for more information, you can call 284-6341. Trevor Thorpe for the Yes Business Report.
Stansfeld Scott Barbados, a leading distributor of premium beverages, has acquired the American Beverage Marketers portfolio, which includes a renowned range of mixers and beverage enhancers. These include some of the finest call purees, master of mixers, and real infused syrups. This acquisition, finalized in July this year, marks an expansion of Stansfeld Scott's product range and strengthens its position as a key player in the local and regional beverage market. Finest call purees are renowned for their authentic fruit flavors, master of mixes celebrated for expertly crafted cocktail mixers, and real infused syrups known for their rich and bold profiles. Commercial manager spirits at Stansfeld Scott Barbados, Ricardo Smith, says they're delighted to welcome these exceptional brands into their portfolio. And that's business. We'll take a break and be back with the weather. And we say good evening to Carrie Ann O'Neill. Carrie Ann, what's the weather picture going to be like?
Well, Wendy, it's dry and stable here in Barbados. Good evening to you and good evening, everyone. The ridge pattern was our dominant feature. As a result, we had those dry and sunny conditions. Meanwhile, the winds, they are light to moderate across the region. They're peaking at 15 knots. Meanwhile, Convergence maintained a few light showers across the Guianas. The maximum temperature today was 30 degrees Celsius, the minimum 24 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 26 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 74%. The winds, they're coming in from the east. We take a look now at some atmospheric conditions across the region, where those temperatures are ranging from 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. The humidity shows moisture is building over in St. Lucia as well as Trinidad, and the winds, they are generally light to moderate across the region. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where the ridge pattern, it dominated across the region. We had dry and stable conditions here in Barbados. It was certainly mostly sunny. Meanwhile, the winds, they are peaking at 15 knots. The seas smooth to moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 2 meters. Later on tonight, we can expect partly cloudy skies along with a few isolated light showers. Further south, Convergence maintained dry and stable conditions. We are talking about fair to partly cloudy skies, along with just a few light showers across the Guianas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, showers prevailed across Hispaniola. Elsewhere enjoyed fair to partly cloudy skies, along with light showers. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 11 minutes after 6 and will set at 5:33. The first high tide is expected at 9 minutes past midnight and the first low at 5:49 in the morning. Now those seas are smooth to moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 2 meters. The winds, they're coming in from the east to the east-northeast, and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect partly cloudy skies along with a few isolated light showers. And over the next 3 days, a trough system is expected to maintain occasionally cloudy skies along with some showers.
And we're off to the pool with Damien Best.
Thanks so much, Wendy. Barbadian swimmer Christian Kelly broke the national men's 50-meter butterfly record with a time of 24.96 seconds at the World Aquatics Short Course Swimming Championships in Budapest. The previous record of 25.04 held by Sean Clark was set back in 2009. Well, despite the impressive clocking, Kelly was out of semi-final contention, finishing 58th out of 77 swimmers. Meantime, the island's leading female swimmer, Danielle Titus, will not be in the semis of the women's 100-meter backstroke after finishing 9th in Heat 4. Titus' time was 1 minute 1.58 seconds with an overall rank of 43 from 63 swimmers. Tomorrow, Louis Sebastian Weeks will be in the pool competing in Heat 3 of the men's 100-meter breaststroke. Well, 18 records fell at the 2024 Bassa Short Course National Championships as the 6-day meet ended over the weekend. 2 of those new marks fell on Sunday's final day at the Aquatic Center in Wildy. Both were in the 200-meter individual medley. In the girls 9 to 10, Gabriella Babb of Pirate Swim Club erased the old time of 3 minutes 45.05 seconds to set a new time of 2 minutes 45.05. Then in the boys 9 to 10, Zachary Ladipo went under the old record of 2 minutes 53.25 seconds to set a new standard of 2 minutes 43.62. The action overall was very competitive as CBC's Amory Burt looks at some of the backstroke and breaststroke events.
We take a look at the backstroke events. These are the 13 to 14 girls going over 200 meters. Picking up with just over 50 meters to go, and there was a clear leader. Final turn off the wall, and it was Caitlin Balgobe in a pass all her own. Pirates had a champion in this one, with her teammate a length back, but going for the 1-2 is Toria Aline. And as they kicked for home, the pace did increase over the final few meters, and it was a done deal. Balgobe touches the wall in 2 minutes 30.10 seconds, and Aline is in there for a second in 2 minutes 32.94. Though his age group is 11 to 12, Mikhail Sober swam with the big boys 15 to 17, and he showed them what he was really worth. The final turn for home in this 200-meter back event, and no doubt he is in a class all by himself. Gliding through the water with so much ease, and might I add, you see the distance between him and the rest of the swimmers. He touched the wall in 2 minutes 18.32 seconds, as Joshua Ross was in second, 2 minutes 21.49 seconds, and the first 15 to 17 finisher, while third was Aquan Critchlow, 2 minutes 23.30. Switching to some of the breaststroke events over 100 meters, and the 9 to 10 girls gave us quite a competitive race, as stroke for stroke heading to the wall was Gabriella Babb and Layla Shorey. final 30 meters, Abab went into overdrive, increasing her stroke speed and taking the edge. Could she hold on to it? As Shuri was right there with her. Both girls kicking and pushing to take the win, and it will be back in the gold cap over Shuri. The times 1 minute 31.09 seconds and 1 minute 31.36. Picking up the boys' equivalent, also just under 50 meters to go, and we saw two tactics. Long, smooth strokes from Zachary Ladipo. Aaron Brathwaite with shorter, quicker strokes, and Ladipo held the edge, but Brathwaite was right there over his shoulder. Another nail-biting finish. To the wall, Ladipo over Brathwaite, 1 minute 25.77 seconds, 1 minute 26.24. And to the 11 to 12 girls, remember this is a 100-meter breaststroke. Not as close as the others, but we had two swimmers with a clear lead. Kaija Eastman and Sanaya Minnis. Eastman, the one that would take it, as she led all race, and her winning time was 1 minute 20 seconds, with Minnis second in 1 minute 21.10 seconds. Our young swimmers really showed out at the short course national. Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie, and that's it for sports for tonight. Wendy, it's back over to you.
Thank you so much, Damien. We'll return after the break. Thanks for viewing. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.